Hey Leo, we're here for your weekly tarot love reading for October 13th through to October 19th. This is for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and of course for any of you lovely cross watchers dealing with a Leo romantically. Now please keep in mind, Leo, these are general readings, so they may or may not resonate, which is totally okay. You're always welcome here on my channel to take what works and leave the rest. So we're jumping right into it today, my lovely lions, and we are going to see what this week could be bringing toward you in love. First message coming out today for Leo says passion, insane chemistry, sparks and having fun, equal interest and burning desire. So let's just say that things could be heating up this week when it comes to love. Definitely looks like there's a very strong attraction between you and somebody. Could be somebody who you're currently connected with. Could be brand new love coming in if you're single. Let's see where this goes. Tell me more about what could be coming toward Leo this week, please. Hammer. Sabotage and rebuild, persistent, working on it and repairing. That is interesting, Leo. So on the one hand, we start with this very passionate and loving connection, but then it's followed by somebody who's potentially sabotaging the connection, which is probably very confusing because on the one hand, they probably show you a lot of love and you feel a very strong attraction and desire for each other. But then the next moment, they're doing things to push you away. Now, the nature of this card feels like it's cyclical. So what I mean is that you get stuck in a pattern because it says sabotage and rebuild. So it almost feels to me like you're involved with somebody who has a tendency to do something that messes up the connection, totally sabotages things between the two of you. And then they come back around and they're like, I'm working on it, Leo. I want to fix things. I want to repair things. Let's get back together. Let's work on things. You know, everything's cool, right? And so you could be stuck in what feels like a bit of a toxic cycle where it's like there's these high highs of this crazy passion. And then these moments where it's like your person goes rogue and completely sabotages things between the two of you. And you have no idea why. Wow. Okay, tell me more about what could be coming toward Leo this week. Paradise. Okay, happiness and joy, playfulness, enjoying each other, and honeymoon phase. I gotta be honest with you guys because I keep it real with you on my channel. This feels like a toxic cycle to me, okay? And you're probably like, why? You know, wouldn't this be fun? You know, happiness, joy, playfulness. Yes, but we have to look at it in the greater context of the overall energy. And it fits exactly into what I was actually saying a moment ago, Leo, about a potential pattern here. So let's recap. We start with passion. It's fun. It's sexy. It's amazing. You guys are super attracted to each other. The chemistry is off the charts. Then they sabotage. They mess everything up. But then they come back around and they're like, you know, I'm working on it, Leo. And then you guys get back together and everything's really happy. But it's not necessarily long-lived. This paradise moment could be like, it feels good in the moment when you've been having this big fight and things have not felt good with your partner. And then, you know, you get back into that happy moment and it feels like a huge sense of relief, right? But it doesn't always last. And sometimes what happens when you're stuck in a cycle like this, which could be unhealthy and potentially toxic, those moments of repair where things feel happy tend to become shorter and shorter. And so I'm a little bit worried that there might be some sort of problematic pattern that is playing out for you and your person, you know, this week, but I think it's more than just this week, right? And I feel that you're maybe a little bit stuck because part of you is like, you know, this chemistry is amazing and we do have a lot of fun together, but then like they go wild and they completely sabotage everything and they like blow up the relationship. And I never really know like, oh, there's my kitty cat. I never really know like which version of them I'm getting. This kind of dynamic tends to create a situation where we can feel like we're walking on eggshells because it's like sometimes our partner's super in love with us and super happy, and then other times they're just like pushing us away. So that's the vibe that I'm getting. I know it's kind of specific, as always, take it or leave it, Leo. But for those of you who might be connecting with that, we're going to continue. And what we're going to do for the rest of the reading is look more at this person and look more at you. And maybe this can give us a little bit more insight into the dynamic here. So we're going to look at their overall energy this week, what they could be feeling, what actions they could be taking. I will look at the same for you, Leo, and then we'll look at the potential outcome. So let's just kind of see how this shakes out. Okay, tell me about this person, please, who's here for Leo. Okay, 3 of Cups. I don't know how I feel about this. So Three of Cups can sometimes give the energy of a third party. You know, I wonder, take it or leave it. This is not for everybody, but I do get the message for some of you. It's like when you guys are together, it's good. And then, you know, they sabotage things, they break up. Maybe they go to a third party, they hook up with somebody else. Like there's potential third party interference here where it's like you guys are good and then you have a fight and they're like, I'm going to go find someone better. And then they go hook up with somebody else, but then they come crawling back to you. So I do get that vibe a little bit. Let's see where it goes. The Hermit, and then they go quiet. I think this person probably has a tendency to shut down. So here's the thing, Leo, in the moments where they're sabotaging things, this might not be intentional. Like a lot of the times, I honestly feel like people can sabotage, but it's an unconscious thing that they're doing. They might not even have full awareness of what they're doing or even why they're doing it, right? And that's not an excuse. But I feel like your person probably does things to push you away, but it's not like they're clearly explaining to you what their thought process is or what they're feeling. It's like you're left in the dark because they've gone quiet and you don't know what's going on. So I'm definitely getting like a potential emotional unavailability where it's like they just go into that hermit mode and then you're left wondering what the heck happened. Tell me more, please. And then the Knight of Pentacles. I mean, the Knight of Pentacles is a pretty slow moving energy. To me, this feels like the relationship slowing down, right? Like having these moments where you feel there's momentum and you feel things are moving forward, and then all of a sudden your person goes quiet and you feel like things are going nowhere, and you suddenly are questioning the future of the relationship because your person is not really moving things forward. Let's see what they could be feeling this week. Justice, there's the apology. That plays into the cycle, right? There's the apology of like, okay, I'm back now, Leo. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Take me back. You know, I love you. You know how much I love you, Leo. You know, this is just what I do. You know, like you shouldn't think anything of it. Like, you know, I always come back, right? Like, has somebody said those things to you? Because that's what's coming to my mind. But I do think that the Justice card, which is Libra energy, is indicating that this person, you know, it looks like this week, maybe they're trying to recover things. It kind of fits with that rebuilding. It's like they sabotage and then they rebuild. So this week could be the part in the cycle where they're coming back around, groveling, trying to say sorry and to get you back. Tell me more, please, about what they could be feeling. Okay. I don't know, you guys. The Four of Swords is a very quiet energy. It actually tends to indicate somebody going inward, taking time to themselves. So like, what is this? They apologize and then they go quiet again? Like, I feel their behavior could be quite inconsistent this week. Tell me more, please, about what they could be feeling. Yeah, Two of Pentacles. They're very inconsistent. I'm sorry to say this, Leo. And again, it's not to say they're doing this intentionally per se, but it doesn't really matter, I think, exactly why they're doing it. It's the fact that you're in this inconsistent pattern and this cycle where they're constantly up and down with their feelings. They're loving you one moment and then pushing you away the next. And it just goes back and forth like you're on this roller coaster and you never really know what to expect. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting a fair amount of emotional instability and up and down with that Two of Pentacles. Let's see what actions they could be taking this week, please. Nine of Cups. They could be love bombing you. Nine of Cups is actually a really nice card in general, but within this reading, I think it's actually a big problem because the Nine of Cups is like wishes coming true, dreams being fulfilled. So, okay, I'm not saying you're dealing with a narcissist, okay? It's possible, though, with this, that you could be dealing with someone who has some narcissistic tendencies, possibly, okay? Now, in narcissism, there's lots of things that narcissists do. I'm not like an expert on this, but like I know a little bit. Like one of the big things is they can love bomb you. So like when it's good, it's so good because they're all over you and they're declaring their love and doing all these things to make you feel loved. The other thing that they do is something called future faking, right? Where essentially what they do is they make you all these big promises about how they're going to make all your dreams come true and how everything's going to be amazing and how, you know, they're just going to take care of you and just you're going to have the most amazing life together. And it's a way to pull you back in because it's creating an image that probably sounds really nice, but the reality is there's usually not any sort of follow-up after this future faking. So that's showing up in their actions. That's why I'm like, they might be saying things to you this week, Leo, that's like promising you the world. I'm not confident that will ever actually materialize. Tell me what other actions they could be taking. The Devil. That's a big problem, you guys. So they promise you the world and then they go and do some toxic shit. It's the back and forth, right? It's the inconsistency. The devil is toxic behavior, unhealthy dynamics, emotional unavailability, somebody who keeps their options open, somebody who is more focused on their own happiness than the happiness of their partner. It's a very hedonistic energy. It's somebody who does what feels good to them in the moment without really thinking through the consequences of their actions. So this to me is a huge problem, to have the 9 of Cups where it's like, oh, I love you, Leo, I'm going to promise you all these things. And then the next moment they're falling back into these toxic cycles. Tell me more, please, about what actions they could be taking. The 9 of Swords. Honestly, I feel like how I'm interpreting this card, because the 9 of Swords is a card of like anxiety, negative thinking, you know, feeling very anxious, and it's showing up in their actions. I kind of feel like they're doing things to make you feel really anxious this week, Leo. For you to get up in your head, for you to have all these sleepless nights because you're trying to figure out why in one moment are they promising me everything with that 9 of Cups, and then the next moment they're doing all these things to fuck up the connection and sabotage everything between us. Like, what the heck is going on? It's like, this kind of behavior can make you feel like you're insane, right? It's like crazy making behavior where it's so tough, because I feel, you know, in my opinion, it's so unhealthy, because I think one of the worst things is when we start to doubt ourselves. Like when someone can get in our head so much that we start to doubt our own reality and experience, right? And we start to wonder, like, did I miss something? Did I do something wrong? Did I do something that, you know, made me deserve this? Like, what is happening, right? And so I do think that they're maybe, with that Devil and 9 of Swords, doing some toxic shit this week to make you continue to question things and question where you stand. It's not great, like in terms of a healthy dynamic. I don't really see that. I see a lot more potentially problematic stuff in their energy for this week. But let's look at you. Tell me about Leo. Okay, Temperance. It's almost like you're holding out hope that if you're patient enough, things will balance out. That's your choice. I always say to you, Leo, I'm not here to tell you what to do, right? You got free will, they have free will. You got to navigate this the way that feels right for you. It's a general rating. Take what works, leave the rest. But I do feel sometimes with the Temperance, I see the energy of someone who keeps holding on because they're like, you know, maybe if I just wait another week, then things will get better. Maybe, you know, they're just going through a really bad patch right now. If I give them a little bit more time, it's going to be okay. And that's a very personal decision, deciding how long you want to wait. That's up to you. You know, I do caution against waiting for the potential, right? Like sometimes what I say to you guys is, if nothing changed and this were your dynamic moving forward and nothing changed in that dynamic, would you be happy? Is this the relationship you want to be in, right? Because it's all well and good to fall in love with somebody's potential and to hope, like, if I'm patient enough, the patience is going to pay off. I think that's a fallacy. I don't think patience always pays off, unfortunately, right? Tell me more about Leo's energy this week, please. The Moon. Yeah. I don't think you feel like you can trust this person, obviously. So you know you've got problems here. The Moon is things that are hidden, things you're unaware of. And so I see this really big issue here where it's like, even though maybe you're hoping if you're patient, things will turn around. But at the end of the day, my question for you is, do you feel like you're getting the full truth? Do you feel like you're getting the full picture? Do you feel like you can trust them, right? Those are some things that you can potentially reflect on. Tell me more, please, about Leo's energy, the Queen of Cups. Yeah, I mean, I do think you have big feelings for them because honestly, the dynamic I'm looking at for your person, it is a very seductive dynamic. It can pull you in and it kind of makes you, in a way, fall in love with this person. And then it creates this really complex situation where you've got these feelings where you're like, but I just feel like I love them so much. But I don't know, is it real love? So I've talked about this before. I haven't talked about it recently, but there's this book I read years and years ago called Attached by this person named Levine. There was somebody else. You can look it up. Anyway, it talks about attachment in adult romantic relationships. And one of the really interesting points of the book is that it talked about how sometimes we mistake love for an activated attachment system, right? So when somebody's creating these highs and lows, it can feel exciting and then devastating and then exciting and then overwhelming. Hi, it's my little kitty cat, Fiona. And you almost get addicted to it. And it can almost, in a way, like the way that I understood it, it kind of mimics love, but it's not like real love. You know what I mean? But it feels that way. Hi, Fiona just wanted to come and say hello. That's my cat, if you guys are not familiar with her. So let's see what you could be feeling this week, Leo. Page of Swords. It's almost like you're scared to rock the boat. And I'm going to tell you why I'm saying that. Page of Swords tends to be an energy of reaching out, but reaching out in a way that's kind of testing the waters. So that fits with what I was saying, where I'm like, it's almost as if you're walking on eggshells with this person and you don't want to upset them and you don't want to go into one of those low moments. Like, I feel from your perspective, Leo, that you're probably the one who's always trying to keep the peace. It's like you're trying to do things that are not going to upset them or aggravate them. And then when they pull back, you're kind of like, I don't know what to do. And you kind of try to test the waters. It's challenging. Tell me more, please. King of Cups. Wow. You got the King and the Queen of Cups, Leo. Okay. I think you definitely feel in love with this person, for sure. I get that, right? Like, just to really empathize, this behavior, this kind of cyclical up and down, highs and lows, can really create that sense of a very passionate, loving connection. So I totally get why you feel that way. But I also feel like there's an acknowledgement that there's probably some pretty unhealthy stuff going on as well, right? Tell me more. Wow. Seven of Pentacles. It's a different energy than Temperance, but there's some similarities. Both of these cards have an element of being patient. So for your energy this week, it almost feels like you're in this place where you're trying not to rock the boat. You're maybe walking on eggshells and you're like, okay, let's just ride it out. If I'm patient enough, maybe it'll be okay, right? And like I said, that's your choice. You get to decide how long you're comfortable being in this dynamic, right? Tell me what actions you could be taking. Seven of Swords. Okay. Seven of Swords is the Thief of the Tarot. It's not a great card to get in a love reading. It tends to represent things that are hidden. The fact that you've got the Moon and the Seven of Swords, Leo, like, I really just get the impression that you feel there's a lot that's hidden from you. You might be trying to get to the bottom of it, but there's also like a real tentativeness where maybe you want to go in and confront them, but then you're like, no, if I do that, I know it's going to set them off and they're going to go crazy. Like, yeah, I get the sense you're walking on eggshells. That keeps coming through for me, Leo. Tell me more about what actions you could be taking. The Five of Wands. I feel like if you try to talk to them about what you're feeling or gently start a conversation, because again, I feel like you're walking on eggshells. So it's like you might gently try to have a conversation, then it blows up into a huge fight. And they don't receive it well. They don't listen to you. They don't hear you. And all of a sudden, you know, like what I'm getting in my head is you try to bring something up and they're like, what? You don't trust me? What do you mean, Leo, you don't trust me? Have I not been the best partner to you? Have I not done everything for you? Have I not like shown you the world? You know, that kind of a reaction where instead of them like listening and having a conversation, they immediately go into this very like reactive defensive mode, but also like kind of like attacking you, like coming at you, like, what, you don't trust me? What's your problem, Leo, you know? Okay, tell me what other actions. Queen of Swords. Yeah, I mean, this is a good card with the right partner. So Queen of Swords is air energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Queen of Swords is an exceptional communicator. So here's what I think. It's like, you're trying to be mature. You're trying to handle this. You're trying to have healthy conversations. That's really good for you. That shows a level of maturity on your part, Leo. But you can't control another person, right? You can show up and try to be an effective communicator. You can't control whether or not they decide to engage with that conversation, right? And so you might be feeling a disconnect this week where shit is going down between the two of you. You're trying to effectively talk about it, and then they're just like picking fights with you and shutting you down. Because again, you can only control yourself. You can't control them, right? They are their own person. And I just see you like trying and trying, but I don't know if it's getting you anywhere. Moment of truth. Let's see what the potential outcome is here. Page of Cups. I feel like this is them coming back around, trying to win you back. Tell me more. Three of Wands. Big promises of the future. Tell me more. Seven of Cups. I shake my head. Yeah. So I feel like this week, maybe by the end of it, they're coming back around with this love offer, because we know the Page of Cups tends to be an offer of love. And the Three of Wands is the bigger picture. It's talking about the future. So they come back around, you know, I love you. Like, don't you remember we're building a beautiful future together, Leo? Like, obviously we're building a life together. You know that. But then what comes after that? The Seven of Cups. Confusion, uncertainty, someone who doesn't actually know what they want, someone who's not actually going to follow through on their promises. And so you might be caught in the cycle. And I think the cycle's kind of playing out this week. And so I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, Leo, I don't have an answer for you. I think that when I look at an energy like this, it's highlighting a potential pattern. So it's maybe the point of this tarot reading is to encourage you to look at the patterns and dynamics within your relationship and to ask yourself, can I trust this person? Am I getting what I want? Am I happy? Because I think sometimes what happens too is like we get so focused on the other person's like crazy making behavior that we forget to check in with ourselves, right? Because when they're creating chaos and uncertainty, it's like we can just focus on that. But then if you take a moment and kind of step back, how do you feel, right? Because the question I have is like, do you generally feel happy in this relationship? Like are there enough good moments where it feels good most of the time? Or are you actually unhappy a lot of the time because you're walking on eggshells with somebody who's inconsistent? I can't sugarcoat it. I see a lot of potential problems here, at least in the energy this week, right? And so I think you're being encouraged to look at that. Can people change? Of course. Is it easy for people to change? I don't personally think it's that easy. That's my opinion. I think for somebody to want to change, they want to have to change. It can't be that you want them to change. It's that they have to internally really want to do that and then do the work. But I feel like this week is maybe just kind of hitting you in the face a little bit, Leo, and being like, take a look at this dynamic. And they might come around again. And I think it's a pattern of them making you big promises, but then it's clear that they don't actually know what they want and they're not following through. So heavier energy this week, you guys. If it resonated with you, do me a solid, give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Definitely wishing you the best. Sending you guys lots of love as always, and we'll talk again very soon. Bye, Leo.